Hey there, fifth graders. Here we go with another lesson on lesson 20. And your objective is you're going to be able to divide a 2 digit and a 3 digit dividend by 2 digit divisors. So let's get started with the first problem, lesson 20. All right, our first job is to make sure that we know exactly what we're needing to do to complete these problems. So read the directions. We're going to be dividing, obviously. And then they want us to check with multiplication. All right, let's go into B. I'm going to zoom in to give me more space. And remember the first number, 49, that is our dividend. That's a 2 digit dividend. That's the number that goes on the inside of the division house. The divisor is 21. So let's take our divisor, 21, and let's start listing the multiples of 21. So we have 21, that's 21 times 1. Now, if you double it, that'll be 21 times 2, which that is easy to do, is 42. And then if you did 21 times 3, all you need to do is to add these two numbers up together. So that would give us 63. So 63 is too big, so we're going to use 42. I'm going to put 42 underneath 49. And 42 is the second multiple of 21. So we're going to put the 2 out to the right. So it's going to be a partial quotient, part of the answer. And then we're going to subtract 49 minus 42. You would get 7. 7, our difference, is smaller than our divisor, so we cannot divide anymore. This becomes our remainder. So we have the quotient 2 with the remainder of 7. And then we're going to go ahead and check. The way we check is we're going to do 21, and we're going to multiply it by the quotient of 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. And then we're going to add the remainder to prove that our answer, 2 remainder 7, matches, the 49 matches the dividend to the problem. So 2 remainder 7 is the correct quotient for B. Let's go on to, all right, we have C. 78 is our dividend, the number we are dividing up or breaking apart, and we're going to be putting them into groups of 39. So that's our divisor. So let's go ahead and take 39, and then that's the first multiple. So 39 times 1 is 39. 39 times 2 would mean to double 39. So if you double 9, you should know that's 18. So we're going to put an 8 in the ones column. And then I always remember to carry the 1 over, kind of put it underneath the 3. Because now I need to double the 3, which is a 6. And then I need to add the 1, which would be a 7. So the second multiple of 39 is 78. And then you can see right here, 78 is perfect. 39 goes into evenly. That would be only 2 times. And then I have no remainder or no difference, so that the quotient is just going to be 2. To prove that 2 is the right quotient, take that divisor and let's multiply it by 2. Let's double check. 2 times 9 is 18, that is correct. And then 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 78. So we do get the same dividend, and we have the same, or we have the correct quotient. Let's move down to E. So 77 is our dividend inside the division house, and 25 is our divisor. We're putting these 77 numbers or sticks or any item that you can think of into groups of 25. So if we count by 25, our multiples, we have 25, 50, 75. So obviously if you go higher, that would be 100. So 100 is too big. So we have 75 is just under 77. That is the third multiple of 25. So that means we can make 3 groups of 25 with 2 left over. So we have 3 is our quotient, remainder 2. To check that, we're going to do 25, and we're going to multiply it by 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. So we got 75, and then you add your remainder, and that will give you 77. So this matches our dividend. So this is the correct quotient, 3 remainder 2. And then moving over to F, let's do our dividend, which is 68. And then our divisor, we're putting them into groups of 17. And I'm going to go ahead and continue my partial quotient line going down. So counting by 17. So 17 times 1 is 17. 17 times 2 would mean to double 17. So let's go ahead and double the 7. Well, that's going to be 14. So I'm going to put my 4 in the 1s and make a little 1 to regroup. I need to double this 1 first. So 1 doubled is 2, and then add the 1 to make a 3. So it's 34. And then the third multiple of 17 would be to add 17 plus 34. So I'm going to go ahead and 7 plus 4 is 11. Going to regroup. I'll actually cross that off so I don't get confused. And then I'm going to do 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. And let's go ahead and just stop here. Let's just use 51. Seems like it's close enough to 68. Let's see. So we're going to do 51. And that is the third multiple of 17, sorry. And then our difference would be 8 minus 1 is 7. And then 6 minus 5 is 1. So we have 17 left over. Well, 17 divided by 17, we can go one more time. So if we actually went over and found the fourth multiple of 17, that would have been 68. But we have what we have here, which is totally fine. So we can actually pull out another group. So we would use 17, which is another group. So now we have 3 and 1 off to the side with a difference of 0. So this turns out to be our partial quotient, 3 and 1. Add that together, that gives you 4. So the quotient is 4 with no remainder. If we check that, let's check 17 times 4. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. So 68 is the dividend that we have, so that means 4 quotient is our correct answer. So let's go tackle some word problems. I'm on the second page of lesson 20 problem set. Let's look at number 3. Number 3 says a number divided by 43 has a quotient, I'm going to box in quotient, of 3 remainder 28. They want us to find the number. So let's kind of do a quick little review. Remember, when we're talking about a number, we're talking about the dividend. And when you divide it by 43, that's actually the divisor. And then when we look for the answer, we're actually looking for the quotient, which is 3 and remainder 28. So let's think about this. So a number divided by, so the dividend, we don't know what it is, but if you divide it by 43, we'll give you a quotient or the answer of 3 remainder 28. So if I put this as kind of set up as a little long division problem, we don't know what the dividend is. We're going to find that out. We do know the divisor is 43, and we do know that the quotient is 3 remainder 28. So quick little review, we don't need to start guessing numbers or picking numbers to put into this space right here. We're going to work backwards. We're going to work backwards to find out what the dividend is, and we're going to do that multiplication check to get that dividend number. So we have 43 as our divisor, and so if you take your quotient of 3 and you multiply it, you're going to get 129, because 3 times 3 is 9 and 3 times 4 is 12. And then when you take your remainder, you're going to be adding it. It's extra. It's what's left over that's not being used into any of the groups. We can go ahead and add them. We have 9 plus 8 is 17. Carry the 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. So the number turns out to be, the dividend is 157. So let's write our sentence out. we're going to say the dividend is 157, period. Let's go on to the next page of lesson 20. We'll do question number 4. Let's go back a little bit. Yep. The divisor was 43. So we knew that the quotient was 3, remainder 28, and the divisor was 43. 43? Let's zoom in. All right. So question number 4 is they want us to write another division problem that has a quotient of 3 with a remainder of 28. So we get to make up the division problem. And some of you are like, whoa, wait, we only have one part of the division equation. We only have the quotient. How are we going to figure out what the divisor or the dividend is going to be? Well, here's the cool thing. Let's actually set up the division really quick. So right now, we don't know what the dividend is. They haven't told us. And we don't know what the divisor is. They didn't tell us. We do know the quotient is 3 with a remainder of 28. So, just on the previous example, now we don't know the divisor. But if let's say we get to make our own problem up, and if we worked backwards, we could technically find the dividend. And so when we make up our own division problem, we want to pick the divisor. Because when we pick the divisor, then we can quickly find the dividend. So we can pick any divisor that we want. And, the other one was 4. Let's go ahead and pick 52. So the divisor is going to be 52. So all we're going to do is take our quotient and then multiply it by the divisor, add the remainder to get our dividend. Just for any future problems where you need to make your own division problem and they give you the answer, you can pick any number. It didn't have to be 52. It could have been 19. It could have been 21. It could have been 97, as long as the divisor is in the number you're picking. So I'm going to go ahead and take 52 and I'm going to multiply it by 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. And then I'm going to add 28 to it, the remainder. 6 plus 8 is 14. Carry your 1, bring down your 4. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. And then, so it looks like cross off the question mark, the dividend is now 184. So our division problem that we just made is 184. And when you divide it by the divisor of 52, you will get a quotient of 3, remainder 28. And so there's our division problem. And let's move down to question number 5. Question number 5 says, Mrs. Silverstein sold 91 cupcakes at a food fair. The cupcakes were sold in boxes of a baker's dozen. And I give you what a baker's dozen is, which is 13. Dozen is 12, but a baker's dozen means they throw in an extra one. She sold all of the cupcakes at $15 per box. They want to know how much money she received. So let's kind of go back and kind of read carefully again. So I do know that Mrs. Silverstein sold 91 cupcakes at the food fair. But she sold those cupcakes in boxes of a baker's dozen, or boxes of 13. So it looks like I don't know how many boxes she sold, because they're asking that, or they said she sold all the cupcakes at $15 per box. So she didn't sell 13 boxes, and she didn't sell 91 boxes. So it looks like we got to do some math to figure out how many boxes she sold, and then multiply it by 15 to figure out how much money she got. All right, so the first part of the problem is doing 91 divided by 13. The reason why I put 91 first is because that's the number of cupcakes she sold at the food fair. The reason why it's 13 as the divisor is because each box has 13 cupcakes in them. We just need to figure out how many boxes she sold. So I'm going to go ahead and first put 91 in the division house and 13 as my divisor. And now I'm going to count by 13. I know 13 times 1 is 13. 13 times 2 would be 13 doubled. That should be easy enough for you guys to do. That's going to be 26. Now 13 times 3, just add these two numbers together. This one should be easy. 3 plus 6 is 9. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. And then 13 times 4 would be another easy one. And this is 13 times 2 is 26. 13 times 4 means double this number, 26. Well, 6 plus 6 is 12. And then carry my little 1. And if I double the 2, that would be 4 plus 1 more is 5. You know what? And I'm going to stop there. I know I can go farther, but I'm going to stop there because sometimes when we get into finding more multiples by 13, and this is where we start making mistakes. So we can kind of use these numbers as a good starting off point. The highest I can go right now is 52. Which multiple is that? That's the fourth multiple. That's going to be part of our quotient, our answer. So now I'm going to subtract. 1 minus 2 I can't do. I need to borrow from the 9, make that an 8, and turn that 1 into 11. Now I'm going to do 11 minus 2. That's 9. And then 8 minus 5 is 3. Just gave you the answer. So I have 39 left over. And look, right here, we have 39, which is the third multiple of 13. So I can go ahead and say, okay, 39, take away 39 will work. That's going to be the third multiple of 13 with a difference of 0. So that means this is my two partial quotients. Add them together, that would give me my full quotient. So it looks like she had 7 boxes at the food fair. So if she had 7 boxes at the food fair and she sold each box for $15, so now we're going to have to figure out $15 times, multiply that by 7 will give us our answer. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break up 15. I'm going to say, okay, I know that 10 and 5 give me 15. I know that 10 times 7, that's going to give me 70. And I know that 5 times 7 is going to give me 35. So if I just add these up together, that will give me the answer for 15 times 7. So I kind of did some mental math. So now I have 70 plus 35. That would give me 105. So she made $105. So let's answer that as a statement. Let's go ahead and put Mrs. Silverstein. Received, because that's the word they use in the question, received $105. And now I could stop here, but I'm going to add some extra detail to the word problem to kind of give your teacher or give me a better sense of that, you know, what is actually involved or what's going on in the word problem. So Mrs. Silverstein received $105 for 7 boxes of cupcakes. So providing this extra detail right here just provides me a better understanding that you know what was going on in the word problem. All right, guys? So that's lesson 20. And when we go into lesson 21 and 22, our dividend, this first number, are going to get a lot bigger. And our divisor is going to be a lot, maybe closer to like 78 or 62. So bigger numbers. So we're going to continue the skill that we're doing with our long division with some bigger numbers. So I'll see you on the next one, guys.